Yes, we do test people. It's one of those things that is a necessity so that we can, at one point, I'll say this to the world. I came in one day and I said, I'm finished with testing. Let us just educate people and not test them. We're providing an education. You do with your education what you will, but I'm finished with testing. That after all these years, tested in schools, tested in colleges, tested Pilates, I don't want to test anymore. Finished. Too stressful for me. I don't sleep at night. That's it. So then, I believe it was Sherry said to me, she said, Rael, I believe it was Sherry, I'm not sure. But one of our faculty said, it's the testing that allows us or ensures that BASI maintains a particular standard throughout the globe. Suddenly made sense to me. It was Sherry. It suddenly made sense to me after all these years of testing and thinking, why are we testing? Why are we testing? Why am I putting people through all this stress? Why am I putting myself through all this stress? It's very stressful, the testing. So it allows us to maintain a standard, and that's why we moved to centralized testing, because at one point we had so many faculty around the United States and around the globe testing people. Well, some people were being way too harsh. If one breath was out of place, that's it, you didn't pass. And some people were being way too lenient. So we did away with that, and now we have centralized testing. We have only a handful of people that do the testing. We've all known each other for years and years and years. We know what we're looking for, but never have I done a testing where we didn't sit together afterwards and say, we're on the fence about a few people. If someone doesn't know, it's clear cut. If someone does know, I wish everyone was here, it's clear cut. It's those that are on the fence that make it so difficult. So I hope none of you will be on the fence people. Good. So what do we expect of you? We expect of you to show your knowledge of the BASI Pilates approach to this work. We're not looking, I've seen people do variations. Brenda, I said to Brenda, you don't mind me sharing that. It was just priceless. I said to Brenda, now during the testing, I don't want to see any of these variations you do. I want to see the pure Pilates BASI work. She said, I'm not doing variations, I just don't know what I'm doing. That is so beautiful. That is honest. Because some people just don't know what they're doing, and then they say, oh, this is a variation of the exercise. No, it's not a variation. You don't know what you're doing. Brenda, you're going to get 10 more marks just for being so honest and candid. So, anyway, we're looking for your knowledge of BASI. We're not here to test any other school that you may have studied with, any other approach to test your own creativity. We're here at this point to test your knowledge of the BASI approach, the BASI work, the BASI structure to a session, the block system. So, we want you to go through a session. The session OFI is 60 minutes, not 55 minutes, 60 minutes OFI, 60 minutes. We want you to go through a 60-minute session. If you do finish early, come on in, Kristen. If you do happen to finish early, unfortunately, depends how, look, if it's 1 minute early, we're not going to penalize you. But if it's 10 minutes early, what I always say to people, look, that person just paid a lot of money for that session. I mean, we don't charge people for these sessions, just know that. No one is charged. But if you go tomorrow and give a session, and you charge someone $60 for a private session, that's actually not that much. $60 for a private session, and you finish 10 minutes early, that's $10 you just took away from that person. None of us is going to throw away $10. No, you cannot do that. 60 minutes is a session. 60 minutes. We want to see in that 60 minutes, we want to see you go through the block system. We want to see you make good, educated choices. Now, there are some rumors that you have to work on every piece of equipment. No. I've given sessions, I think the record was 12 changes of equipment in one session. 12 changes, maybe 14, I don't know, definitely 12 changes of equipment. Can you imagine how much time was spent walking from one piece to another? No, that's too much. Do we like to see a bit of diversity? Sure. And by the way, teach to the person in front of you. So if Jen comes in as a client, you don't have to teach Jen treat her like a beginner. You know, you ask her, she tells you she's had 20 years of Pilates experience, so you don't treat her like someone that's just coming for her first session. No, you treat her like she's experienced, give her more intermediate work. So we don't want to just see the same session for everyone. So I said, yes, show us some diversity. We want to see the block system, and we want to see it in the order of the block system. Remember, full body integration advanced, you're not going to do if your person's not advanced. Of course you're not going to do that. And if you're running out of time, then you know there's certain blocks that you're not going to be penalized for leaving out. For instance, your leg work. You're running late, you don't have much time. I would prefer you to leave out the leg work, then finish with the leg work, but leave out lateral flexion rotation and back extension. No, that's no good. That's why the block system is so amazing, because after you've taught for a few months, a few years, few decades, you know if you're running late. 20 minutes into your session, you already know if you're running late. 30 minutes into your session, you definitely know where you should be. 45 minutes into your session, you should already have that lateral flexion, rotation, and back extension in your sights. So we want to see a good structure of a session. 60 minutes, good use of equipment, and we want to see the block system. And then, of course, your choices of exercises need to be intelligent, need to be good, need to be suited to the body in front of you. Your choices of resistance, springs. I've had multiple people, 1 minute, Brenda, say to me, they're doing the up stretch. And I can see their client is struggling. And they've got 1.5 springs on, which is a good setting for the up stretch. And the client is struggling, so they take off the half a spring. Now they're on 1 spring. And the client says, it's really tough for me. They take off the full spring and put on a half spring. Now they're doing an up stretch with a half a spring, not realizing that the lighter you go, the more difficult it gets. Same with tendon stretch. They give 1.5 springs. Wow, that's a really difficult exercise. Should be difficult. Difficult? Okay, well, I'll take off a half a spring. Now they're on 1 spring, and makes it even more difficult. So we want to see that you've done these exercises before, that you know what you're talking about, and that you can address the issue at hand.